Live.
Are we there?
Yep.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, before I call the meeting to order, I just want to remind you that if you're interested in contacting City Council tonight during the public hearing, you need to phone in to number area code 301-715-8592. And then we have a meeting ID number of 764-911-9533. That is the meeting ID number. The password would be 670404. So again, if you want to contact council tonight, you certainly may do so, and we look forward to that. With that, I will ask that council will come to order, and the clerk please call the roll.
Baumgartner,
Here.
Godwin,
Here.
Howdy Shell,
Here.
Rogers,
Here.
Schmidt,
Here.
Whitaker,
Here.
Wright.
Okay, Mr. Wright is absent tonight, not being able to Zoom in. We have 3 members at the council table and 3 that are in on video, audio, Zooming in, as well as the mayor and the auditor. So if we will, let's please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible,
liberty and justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you all. We have a public hearing scheduled for this evening, and we have only one piece of legislation, so it looks to be a rather brief meeting. But continuing on, the approval of the minutes, you all received copies of the last meeting minutes in the mail, that is email. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, they will stand approved as presented. Approval of the agenda. At this particular time, I have nothing to add or subtract from the agenda. So I would entertain, pardon?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Howdy Shell,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
And under public hearing, we have one specific hearing scheduled tonight that has been advertised for at least 30 days. It is a zoning recommendation for a zoning change, and is from GI General Industrial to NB Neighborhood Business from for 339 West Park Drive here in the city of Greenville. And that is, again, the corner of West Park Drive, the extreme west corner or west end, and Route 49, State Route 49. So at this time, the microphone is open to anyone who has questions or wants to speak to this issue regarding this rezoning. Again, from GI, General Industrial, to Neighborhood Business. So the Safety Service Director or the Mayor or Law Director, if anyone has any comments, please let us know.
Would just add that this matter came before the Planning and Zoning Committee. They held a hearing. Mr. Randall, the property owner, is present at this current meeting, and it was the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Committee to approve this zoning change from general industrial to neighborhood business. I believe that Mr. Randall intends to operate a small business there. It's a vacant lot currently, so we're excited to get it developed. And with this zoning change, this will be the final approval from Planning and Zoning regarding his specific plans for the property. But this certainly helps him move forward with his desires to make that useful. And we're excited for the opportunity he's going to have, and hope to support him any way we can.
Is that legislation prepared?
It is not prepared for this evening. It'll be prepared for the next meeting.
Okay.
Provided approval from council.
Okay. Any further questions or comments by anyone?
Would that be just the final steps then, the legislation at the next meeting?
Yes, for them to proceed before coming before zoning and planning to present their plans then for construction.
Very good. Thank you.
Mhm. Further comments or questions? Do we need just a simple motion to approve this?
There's just, I don't even think you need a motion to approve this, just a request for me to draft the legislation to make the change from general
Okay.
industrial to new neighborhood business.
If there are no strenuous objections on any members of council or anyone else, excuse me, listening, I would state that I think with council's approval here with no comments, that you would go ahead and direct you to prepare the legislation, and we will look at it the 15th of December, next meeting. So, thank you. Any questions or comments from anyone else? Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Mr. Council President,
Yes.
did we approve the financial report?
Oh, I'm sorry. That is something that I did miss. Thank you. I'm going to skip back the agenda here to item D, the current financial report from the auditor's office. My apologies. I moved a little quickly here.
Move to accept.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to accept the current financial report out of the auditor's office. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Godwin,
yes,
Howdy Shell,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Now, anyone else wishing to address council under public hearing may do so at this time. We don't want to cut anyone out, but let us know if you have something to say or questions or whatever. I really don't see anyone else attached here or called in. So if that's the case, we will move the agenda and go on to the mayor's report. And Mr. Mayor, Mayor Willman is zooming in from home. So, Mr. Mayor, it's yours.
okay. Being stuck in the house for the last couple of weeks, I really don't have too much of a report to give. So I'd like to pass.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. Safety Service Director, Mr. Delk.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, just an announcement. So starting tomorrow, for a period of less than 2 weeks, we will be moving the tax office over here into council's chambers while we do carpet and paint and ceiling work and lighting in the tax office. So we're going to move them over here tomorrow and get them going. If anybody has any tax business to do, they will be located in here. There will be signage put out for everyone to find them.
Okay.
And then we will have them move back over and back to council chambers by December 15th.
It'd
Okay.
be too taxing to find them, huh?
Right.
But let it be known that if they drop any money or anything, once they leave, it's left to you. Council gets it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's the way I look at it.
I will let them know.
All right.
And last but not least, I just want to give a big thank you to really all city employees. Ever since this COVID outbreak, everyone's done a tremendous job of keeping everyone healthy and going through the correct protocols and making good decisions and stepping up when people had to fill in because people were quarantined, working together. It's just been a real blessing. Unfortunately, here the last month, we've had a tremendous amount of COVID cases, or at least quarantined cases, because they were exposed, and the whole city, department heads, employees, everyone has just stepped up and done a tremendous job to get us through it. So I certainly appreciate it. And with that, I will pass.
Thank you. Law Director, Mr. Reeman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just a couple brief issues. One is informative. To let council know, at the next meeting, we anticipate having a CRA agreement for council to review and approve. Again, we anticipate getting an application of some expansion out at the industrial park. So the city's excited about that. I think the mayor's touched on that before. And the hope is that we'll have that all buttoned up at the next meeting. So we're excited. The last thing I want to talk about, because I've gotten some more questions about it, is the plan to address nuisance properties within the city. We do have a comprehensive plan. We have been working with the Planning and Zoning Office. The new software that we have has been instrumental in helping us out with that. We're able to document it much better. It kind of stacks our deck in the sense that when and if we have to go to court, we're just so much better prepared than we were before. The goal with these nuisance properties is always voluntary compliance. You know, it doesn't benefit the city for the city to go out and lay out money to take on that obligation to clean these properties up. And so that's the goal. We want to give property owners every chance that we can, but we do have to draw a line eventually. And I would just end with the fact that if there's nuisance properties out there that you see or violations, let us know. You may not see a change tomorrow, but we do keep track of them, and we're able to keep track of them much better now that we've got this new software. And everything kind of fits into the plan in the sense that we're trying to address the biggest problems first. And the only way that we kind of know about that is community feedback. So don't feel like you're bugging us. Feel free to call Mr. Delk. He likes to hear from members of the community, and we will document it accordingly. So with that, I will entertain any questions.
It's good to hear.
Well, in retrospect to the group that has been working for safe streets or safe neighborhoods or something like that, and I know that because of the pandemic issue, they have been a little bit in limbo now, but you know, we have pressed on with some of their concerns and so forth, and so we're moving forward, and I think that speaks well of our group, and of course our new person in the zoning and planning office, and all the people in there helping to make this happen. So thank you, and thanks to them. So thank you. All right, and finally, Auditor Willman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I just have 2 items to bring forward this evening. First of all, as you're probably aware, we're not going to be able to bring you, have our budget meeting with the full council probably until after the first of the year. We've had a number of scheduling problems due to the COVID, and although we do have a balanced budget, like I said, we will not be able to bring it to council until after the first of the year. Therefore, at the next meeting, we will bring forward temporary appropriations to cover us until such time as we do have a budget approved. The second item I have for you is we did receive one final CARES Act payment through the county from the state, and $437,000, I believe, around that amount. So, and we will put it towards salaries as we have put some of the previous amounts that we have received. So unless there are any questions, I will pass.
Any questions for the auditor? Well, thank you very much, and you guys take care of yourselves.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, committee reports. We have none scheduled, but Mrs. Houndeshaw has a request.
Yes, I have a request for an extension on the Dora project.
Okay.
Extending Dora.
Could you have that in 2 weeks by the 15th?
You mean the extension?
Yes.
We were planning on a little bit further than that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
The hope was maybe have this how to shell out, because I know that she's driving. The committee met to discuss the proposed changes, and one of the concerns of the committee was that there really hasn't been enough time to truly evaluate how the DORA was going currently, given that, you know, it started late in the end of summer, beginning of fall, and we just weren't sure how it was going to work out with the splash pad and some other things. There was discussion that they didn't feel compelled to deny the request right now based upon the information, but they wanted some time in the spring to see how things were going. So the hope was to revisit it in more of March and April.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Normally we have committee assignments wanting to be completed by the end of the year, but this is not a reorganization year that could probably be carried over. I would permit that to into the 21 year. So we'll take a look at that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions, we have one. It's a resolution authorized bidding for contracts for the UV improvements and screen replacement at the wastewater treatment plant and declaring an emergency.
A resolution authorizing bidding for contracts for UV improvements and screen replacement at the wastewater treatment plant and declaring an emergency. This resolution authorizes the bids for necessary improvements for UV improvements and screen replacement improvements. This resolution has an emergency clause.
Move to suspend the rules, give this resolution second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Howdy Shell,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing bidding for contracts for UV improvements and screen replacements at the wastewater treatment plant and declaring an emergency. A resolution authorizing bidding for contracts for UV improvements and screen replacements at the wastewater treatment plant and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the emergency clause. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Howdy Shell,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Howdy Shell,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That concludes our resolutions for this evening. We have nothing under old or new business. What items of communication do we have?
We received the monthly reports of November from the Income Tax Department and the Fire Department.
If no one has anything else, we will call down the council, please.
Baumgartner,
Just one comment on the streetlights on the side streets that was recently put in. Had a lot of good comments, how nice that looks. And one comment was, why don't we do a block each year? Keep spreading that out each way.
I'm definitely willing to look at it.
I thought it was kind of a cool idea if we could do a block each year. And then when we get those done, then we could go other directions in the city.
Like you mean just keep going like down third, fourth, fifth, that expanding that direction.
Yeah, each way. Just a thought.
Yeah.
But it really looked nice, especially with the Christmas lights on it. So kudos to the street department. And then the other thing, I'm sure the street department is doing the update in the finance department.
Oh, and the tax, yes.
Yeah, tax department. So kudos there because that saves the city a lot of money, not contracting that out, doing it in-house. I know you've got some talented individuals out there at the street department, electricians and carpenters, et cetera. So just kudos on that too. With that, I pass.
Thank you.
Godwin,
Pass.
Howdy Shell,
I want to give the guys kudos for the way they have decorated the city. And I am on my way on 127 way up north. And we had not passed a town that could beat Greenville at all in their decorating. So we should be very proud of our city. And everybody be careful out there. And with that, I pass.
Rogers,
Yeah, it really does look nice downtown, even though we didn't get to have our horse event this year. Hopefully next year, and I'm sure that we'll have a lot of nice decorations next year also. With that, I pass.
Schmidt,
I agree with Mr. Baumgartner talking about the street lighting. I think maybe that is something that we should look into because it does look really nice when those projects are completed. It's something to be proud of. And that whole downtown area right now just looks great. I know they kept adding, it looks like a little bit more all the time. And it really turned out nice. So great job. And with that, I will pass.
Whitaker,
Yeah, I agree with the lighting downtown and having worked with Main Street Greenville now for the last 3 years, I'm sure they would appreciate that effort as well. Anything that we can do to build up the downtown, go for it. And as long as we can handle it, I think it'd be a great thing to do. Also agree with Ryan and the comments he made about all the cooperation among all the employees during the COVID outbreak, and everybody stepping up and doing what they need to do is very much appreciated. And we're just blessed with great staff. With that, I pass.
President Burkett.
Well, I'll just add a little bit, pretty much the same thing. I had notes here. That's what Greenville's all about, ladies and gentlemen. We're a great place, and when someone is in need, someone usually steps in and helps things out, and we certainly appreciate that. All of our employees have just done a stellar job, and it's 24/7. The city doesn't stop. We have to have water all the time. We have to have wastewater flowing away, and we have to have police and fire and all the other things going on. And it's just a constant barrage of things that all of our employees step up and do a wonderful job. Regarding the decorations downtown, they look phenomenal. I think that is really a stellar job on everyone's part. I don't know who all departments were involved, but I think all of them need to be commended for a job well done. This is the first meeting in December. We have one more meeting. Please, ladies and gentlemen, take this COVID stuff seriously. It hits, and you got to be prepared. And be prepared to stay away and do what's right and protect yourself and your family. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Howard to adjourn. Call the roll, please.
Baumgartner,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Howdy-Shell,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker.
Yes.
All you recuperating and so forth out there, take care of yourselves.
Thank you. Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night, y'all. Thanks, John, for letting me do this.
Yep.
Good night.